Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 5. How did we get to day 5 already? This challenge is going by so quickly, and I am just continuously inspired by each of you and how you are showing up for this challenge, and what you uncovered about yourself yesterday when it comes to the diet mentality. So thank you to all of you that showed up. I am going to read through all of those later, and you can accept my comments and my hearts and my likes. And I also want to remind you that since we are coming to the end of this challenge, it's important for you to mark your calendar for our wrap party, right? So our wrap party where we will hear from some of you and what your experience was like in this challenge, and where I will announce the exciting prizes. So that is going to be happening. The wrap party will be happening on Tuesday, September 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern, and I'll be announcing the prize winners at that point. Hi Georgia, welcome, thank you for tuning in. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop right into today's video. So yesterday, hi Sunny, we talked about the diet mentality and where and how that is showing up in your life. And today, we're going to talk about how you might be able to transform that diet mentality, which is rooted in restriction and deprivation, and transform that to welcome in a freeing and liberating and peaceful relationship with food. And so I want to preface this by saying that this step has in the past, with clients that I've worked with and with people in this challenge, and even for myself, hi Donatella, has made them really uncomfortable. So there's many of you in this group, many of you are coaches or nutritionists or wellness providers in some way, and you have a lot of knowledge and a lot of insight on nutrition. And I want to invite you that what I'm about to share with you is a perspective that you might not have heard before. And it might seem counterintuitive to everything that you've learned. Yet at the same time, it's been tremendously healing for many people that I work with, myself included. And so what I'm going to invite you into is just to listen to this with an open heart and an open mind, and ask the questions that you need to ask, but also explore what would it be like for me to actually have this experience around food. So if we stop dieting, right? If we get rid of the diet mentality, what do we do instead? And that's when we start talking about food liberation. And that's what the intuitive eating process, or the book Intuitive Eating that I reference all the time, it calls unconditional permission to eat. And literally what that means is that you have permission to eat whatever you want, whenever you want it. And some of you might be just saying, like, what kind of health coach would tell me to eat whatever I want whenever I want it? And I would say back to that, a health coach that knows that rules and restrictions and deprivation are far worse for your health than actually trusting and giving ourselves permission to enjoy and find satisfaction and pleasure in food. So I wanted to give an example of a client that I've been working with recently who mentioned that in the evening, she was having strong cravings, right? She was having strong cravings for sweet foods and all foods, and she felt like she was binging at nighttime. And so when we actually looked at what she was eating during the day, she recognized first and foremost that she was not eating when she was hungry. She was choosing to eat only at what she deemed were appropriate meal times. And she also wasn't allowing herself to eat what she wanted. So she actually really enjoyed eating like sandwiches, something substantial in the middle of the day. Yet what she was choosing was like these really light things, because that's what she thought she was supposed to eat. And what was happening for her was truly that she just wasn't giving her body enough nutrients, and she wasn't giving herself what she really, really wanted. And so what we practiced is, first and foremost, her committing to allowing herself to eat when she's hungry no matter what. So if she's feeling that hunger in her stomach or she's feeling it in her head, she has permission to eat. And that she gets to eat what she wants, right? So for her, that looked like having a sandwich for lunch. And what she found is at the end of the day, her binge-like behaviors went away. She wasn't feeling as strong of cravings in the evening. Yet if she wanted to have something sweet in the evening, she was allowed to do that without guilt, without shame, without having to punish herself the next day. And that, my friends, is the power of giving ourselves permission to eat. So not what we're supposed to eat, not what diet culture has deemed as healthy or okay to eat or when to eat, really truly what we want, right? And that's true liberation. That's true autonomy and agency in our body. And so for some of you, you might be thinking, well, if I gave myself permission to eat whatever I want whenever I want it, then I would eat all of the things that I'm quote unquote not supposed to eat. And then I would be unhealthy and I would probably put on weight and then people wouldn't love me anymore and all of those types of things. Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for tuning in. But what I want to invite you in here is that unconditional permission to eat is not about ignoring basic nutrition information. It's not about not being healthy. It's not about making good choices for your body. What it's about is reclaiming the power that food has had over us, right? So when we are restricting or limiting foods or telling ourselves we can't have something, food is becoming a scarce resource for us. And in that place, it becomes that much more seductive to us. It has that much more power. That's when those binge-like behaviors or those overeating behaviors or emotional eating behaviors come in, right? But when we reclaim our power from food and we know, you know what, I can have this whenever I want it, we can go into that experience, have it if we want it, not have it if we don't want it, and there's no moral judgment. There's no shame. There's no punishment that happens afterwards, right? So today's task is something that might be a little bit challenging for you, but what I'm going to invite you into is to allow yourself to eat what you want. And that might mean eating exactly what you already have on the menu today, or that actually might mean giving yourself permission to eat something that you know is really pleasurable and really satisfying to you that you haven't allowed yourself to eat. And the request that I have here for you is that when you eat that food, that you be present with the experience, that you sit down, that you enjoy it, and that you notice with pleasure and joy how good it feels for you to eat that food. And to relinquish any shame. So what you're saying to yourself going into this experience is that I am allowed to eat this food. This food means nothing about me or my character. I don't need to judge myself or punish myself. I get to eat this food if I want it. And just notice how different the experience is when you do that. And again, what I just want to say to this is not about ignoring basic nutrition or health information. If you know that you are highly allergic to gluten or highly allergic to dairy, whatever it might be, it's not about ignoring how your body feels, but it's about bringing in pleasure and satisfaction and allowing yourself to eat what you want when you want it. So again, just want to reiterate for those of you with diagnosed medical conditions, whether you have an autoimmune disease or a known food allergy, please do not eat the food that you know will really, really hurt you and potentially kill you. But this is really about those foods that you've been cutting out because you're afraid of what they're going to do to your weight, or that have been steeped in diet mentality. And it could also be a behavior around food too. So if you are somebody that's like, well, I can't eat until 11 a.m. every day because I'm doing intermittent fasting, but you're starving at 9 a.m., this is about practicing eating when you're hungry as well. So that also might be a way for you to practice this action step. So here's the actions for today. Begin to practice food liberation and give yourself permission to eat what you want when you want it without guilt or shame. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to either post a picture of yourself eating the food or post a picture of the food, or you can write about what the experience was like for you. And that also might look like, I'm wildly triggered by this, I don't think I can do it, and that's perfectly okay too. We are all here and holding space for you. And then of course, encourage and support your fellow participants, let them know that you're there for them, tell them that you think their food looks yummy, whatever it might be. And that is it. So I am sending you all so much love. This action step, when I've done it in the past in this challenge, has always been so fun and so liberating for people. So I'm holding that vision with you too. I'm gonna post a picture of what I really want to enjoy eating today. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you back here tomorrow for day 6. Have a beautiful Friday, everyone, and I will see you soon. Mwah.